Welcome to Kaiseki Anime, where we air new episodes every other week. Kaiseki covers currently airing anime, older series seen recently, and other relevant topics for the season. I'm your host, Marina, of the blog Anime B&B, and with me is my co-host Draggle, of the cleverly titled Draggle's Anime blog.
This week, we review the summer 2024 anime season. So let's start with the trash, which as usual is all me.
Not all of it. I've seen some of these, but not as much as you, I think.
Okay. Well, first is Failure Frame. I became the strongest and annihilated everything with low-level spells. It is like the worst thing all season. It is exactly as awful as it sounds. Honestly, kind of disgusting, like one of these revenge things. And not much redeeming about it. I don't know why I watched this.
Did you finish it, though?
I finished it. But it was kind of like the watch while you're cooking and don't pay too much attention anime.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Anyway, let's pretend this never existed. Next is I Parry Everything. This one, there's a guy who parries everything. It's not offensively bad, like Failure Frame. It's just not good. I barely remember what happened, except lots of parrying. Yeah, not much of value. Next is Shy, Season 2. This one I have more mixed feelings about. I actually quite liked, like, maybe half of the first season, especially, like, the initial episodes about the main character. There was one really good episode about the Swiss girl. But then in this season, I don't know what it was doing. Like, it introduced ninjas to the world of superheroes. And there was this tragic drama about these twin ninjas. And it just didn't work.
Yeah, that kind of surprised me because I do remember you liking this quite a bit. So that's a disappointment.
Yeah, I lost all interest and barely ended up finishing. It was a struggle.
I mean, at least you finished.
Yeah.
Which might have been the regret as well.
Yeah. So I did not recommend that. The next one I did not finish. Spice and Wolf, Merchant Meets the Wise Wolf. I was kind of torn on this from the start. Like, why are we redoing this when the first one was pretty good?
I had the same feeling.
And I just lost all interest. Like, it was even a struggle like halfway through the first season to keep going. I feel like a lot of what made the first season good was really Horo's personality and kind of the banter. But this one, it went all in on like merchant stuff.
And so that was kind of like, this is too much.
Yeah.
Real world kind of stuff.
I just didn't care. And
yeah,
the main guy, I forget his name. He just kind of came off. Lawrence, yeah. He came off more of like a really selfish jerk in this one.
Yeah, that doesn't sound appealing to me because even when I started, like you, I kind of already noticed in the first season, I didn't get far, but I didn't see much difference between this and the original to make me want to keep with this remake. Like, the art style was okay. It wasn't phenomenal, phenomenally different even. And yeah, there was a lot of merchant background stuff, which I think could be interesting if I wasn't already invested in these characters.
Yeah. So it didn't add much from the original, I felt. It just didn't have much of a hook, I guess.
That's really too bad, though, because it's such a beloved franchise.
Yeah. So how far did you get on this?
I didn't even get this far. I got part of the way through the first season and then got distracted.
Okay. So you dropped it as well.
Well, it's on my, still watching. I just never caught up. So dropped is a strong word, but maybe I should drop it.
I see. Yeah, you should just drop all of your catching up list. Okay, next, then the why am I still watching this? That time I got reincarnated as a slime, season 3.
Yeah, why are you still watching this?
I don't know. This one, it's a good it's not worthy of doing while I do my laundry because I need something more entertaining for while I'm doing my laundry. When
do you watch this? When?
This is another watch while I'm cooking show because I will never miss anything because nothing ever happens.
Leroy's sitting and talking? Is that the same here?
They're always sitting and talking, yeah. This time they had a festival and they opened a labyrinth and they had lots of meetings to plan for these two events. And then even like while this battle tournament was happening, they told they showed the battles from the perspective of the people watching them from the meeting room, who were then like discussing the battles as they were ongoing. It's just so bizarre to me.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, next is Our Last Crusade, or The Rise of a New World Season 2. I didn't finish this one because it didn't finish airing. They got to like 4 episodes and then they realized they weren't ready. Yeah, I guess they had some production issues.
Oh, I thought you just like paused yourself. I didn't realize that there was production issues.
No, they had never released past episode 4, I think. So this is supposed to continue in a season or 2.
Wait, in a season or 2?
I just forget when it's supposed to continue.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. What they did have, it was similar to the first one. And last in the trash section, Why Does Nobody Remember Me in This World? I don't know why I watched this one. It had kind of an interesting setup where like the world is replaced with the fantasy world. And his friends are all there, but they're in different roles and they all forgot about him. So it's like kind of an interesting setup. But then the actual story they told was just stupid.
It's like they had a good idea, a good framework, but then they just couldn't write it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that brings us to the end of our sort of dropped/trash section. And now we're going to move into shows that we actually liked. The sort of mediocre, okay. We enjoyed them enough to talk about them, but we're not going to gush on about them.
Yeah. So these are mostly mine too, although I think you have a couple.
I definitely overlap with you on this first one, which is Dungeon People, I believe. Is this the one where like the girl is a really good dungeoneer and her like Is it her father, her grandfather who's disappeared inside of the dungeon and she ends up working for them?
Yeah, she's a dungeon explorer. And then the person I would call the dungeoneer is like the person who lives behind the wall of the dungeon and maintains it.
Ah, interesting. Okay. For my own like gaming experience, when I think of dungeoneers, it's like the players who are like really expert dungeon people, as opposed to the creatures of the dungeon. You know what I mean? Like their residents.
I never heard people say dungeoneer, but it sounds like engineer. So.
Oh, it's a title in Guild Wars too.
Oh, okay. No wonder I had no idea.
Okay. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed this, actually. It's just, I totally got distracted with real life, with other hobbies. I want to go back and finish this. I intend to go back and finish this. But that you put it this, like, mediocre, and you finished it, right?
I finished it, yeah.
What about it kept it down? Because I thought it was quite promising.
Yeah, I thought it was quite promising, too. So I really like the animation style. The concept is cool. But it ended up not having much of a plot or a hook. Every episode is kind of just like a short story about something that happens in the dungeon. And there's really not much of a plot arc or character growth or anything like that.
Okay.
And a lot of it is, it's not really funny either. It's just like they take this concept of how would the dungeon actually work and go as far as they can with it. And it just wasn't enough to keep my interest.
Oh, that's too bad.
But maybe your mileage will vary.
Perhaps. I did think the earlier episodes that I saw were comical. Like, I like how she interacts with the monsters and becomes one of them, sort of. And then how she is able to stay so well hidden and integrate herself. But then that's also part of the problem, is that she's a little too good, right? So I don't know how much better, or like you said, character development there will be by the end of the season.
Exactly. Yeah. And it did have its good moments, but I felt they just decreased as time wore on.
I see.
And I got more used to the premise.
Well, these next two are both you.
Okay. No Longer Allowed in Another World. This one's definitely on the closer to good. I'm kind of torn which category to put it on, because I did like this one. This is the one where it's basically Dazai, the author, gets isekai'd.
Oh, that's this one. Okay.
Yeah, and he constantly wants to kill himself. And he goes and meets people, and then he writes stories about them. Yeah, this one was fun. some good episodes. I liked the premise a lot. It was always just like nothing really great about it.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you, like, what holds it back? Because I was really interested in this, but then for some reason or other, I just never got into it when I kept meaning to. And so I was questioning myself whether or not to circle back to it, depending on what your thoughts were.
Yeah, I mean, you like writing and stuff more than me, so maybe you like it. But it's also an isekai with a lot of the trappings of isekai. And that kind of sucked because it was very generic in that regard.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, how much of the writing actually occurs in the story, though? Like, we know he's a famous writer, and he wrote before he died, but then after the isekai, does he even write anymore?
Yeah, he writes. Like, the premise is he just wants to kill himself, except when he sees someone with a interesting or very depressing story, and then he gets all excited and wants to find out about them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there is still that element to it. I'm glad.
Yeah. So I did enjoy that episode, and it had some arcs that were good and some that were less good, but it was fine. The next one is another isekai. Well, I guess it's not an isekai. It's just a straight up fantasy, but in an isekai, like, pretty boring world.
I mean, if it has the title of an isekai, it looks like an isekai and acts like an isekai, right?
But he never goes to another
not.
world. He's always from that world, so it's missing the key element.
The key element is not there.
Yeah, the Ossan Newbie adventurer, trained to death by the most powerful party, became invincible. And this is exactly like it says. This one's also kind of on the high side of mediocre. It definitely had some aspects I liked. It was kind of funny because the main character had no self-confidence and thought he was really weak, even though he wasn't. I kind of enjoyed the peanut gallery of the one girl he kept beating up, who he became friends with, was cheering him on. I did like his main mentor, the orc guy. He was quite interesting, but then the others were just kind of there, especially the maid, who was his main love interest.
Oh, no.
She was a complete waste of space. I don't know why she existed.
To be his love interest.
Yeah, but she sucked as a love interest. Like, I don't understand why they were even friends.
Yeah, I hate those kinds of relationships and stories where it's like, why are they together?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, the next one is you.
Ramen Akaneko is delightful. I still do mean to watch it. The reason why it's just kind of like in this category specifically is because it doesn't look the greatest. I feel like it could look much nicer, especially with someone who, like, with the cats and the big tiger that works in the back. And I wish that it had even better visuals. The visuals are fine. They're fine. I just wanted it to look great because it's such a cute story, such a cute idea. And the main character being this human who works at this ramen bar for these cats is so fun that, like, every episode I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I expected it to get repetitive, but it doesn't. But this is definitely like one of those shows that I would maybe watch doing laundry or something. And sometimes while cooking, but because I like it enough that I keep getting distracted that I end up either having to pause it or I like ignore my cooking for too long.
So it's hit or miss.
Yeah, I think you definitely have to like this sense of humor of like or this kind of setting, you know, like a situational kind of comedy, like the idea of these cats running their own ramen shop. And if that's not your thing, if you don't like cats, you won't like this.
Okay. Next is SHOSHIMIN, How to Become Ordinary. This is the one where there's this guy and this girl who both want to be ordinary, but they're too smart, I guess. That's why they're not ordinary.
I tried to watch the struggle, but this is all you. I couldn't.
I know. I tried to watch it too, and it was a struggle. That's why it's.
What do you mean tried? Didn't you watch it?
I did watch it, but I'm not sure I like even understood it half the time.
I was just like, I think I got like, I don't know, 4 episodes in or something, 2 arcs or something, and I was just like, I don't care. I don't
That's
like
what made
these
it
characters.
So hard.
They're boring. Why am I watching this? And I just like in a rage just like deleted it. I just wanted to stop thinking about it. So I'm shocked that you could finish it.
Yeah, it's like, why did they want to become ordinary? They already seem so ordinary.
Exactly. I was like, they're so boring.
Exactly. They should become weirder.
Okay, well, what kept you on with this show?
Honestly, inertia.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
It's by the same guy as Yoka.
That's just so shocking to me. Hyoka is so much better.
Yeah, but I don't think it's like actually the story that's better. I think it's just how they told the
graphics?
story.
The storytelling.
Yeah, because Yoka, like, it's also these very boring day-to-day conversations for the most part. Right?
True. And for some reason, it's the most fascinating thing ever in Hyoka, but not here.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like, the last arc, I could see, like, how it could be interesting if they told it better. But the way they told it, it was just like, I don't care. Let's keep going.
That's really, really unfortunate.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess it just, KyoAni was so good at what they do.
Yeah. They're going to trick you with their visuals. That's how they're going to get you to like it.
But even like outside the visuals, it was really compelling writing, I think, for Yoka.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here it was just not. No two ways about it.
I think their like sense of pacing was way off as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like dragging in the wrong parts, rushing other parts that are interesting. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Okay, one last one in mediocre before we can move on to the good ones. The strongest magician in the Demon Lord's army was a human. It is exactly what it sounded like, and it was thoroughly mediocre. It wasn't too bad, but also was not much good about it. I don't know why I watched it.
I was going to say, another one. Another cooking show, maybe?
Maybe. This was more just like taking a nap show, I think. But
That means you didn't watch it. What?
Yeah, no, I watched it. I just sometimes fell asleep during it.
Maybe you should have fallen asleep through the entirety of it.
I should have just skipped that one. Yeah. Oh, well, let's put our mistakes behind them. Maybe next season I will watch less bad shows, although I always say that.
I don't believe you, but at least we can start now talking about the good shows, right?
Yes, the good shows.
And guess what? You get to open, surprise, surprise, with Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian.
Yeah, this one is just really cute. I quite enjoyed it, like solely for that. Right? It's not a great story or anything, but I quite like the characters, and she's really cute when she hides her feelings in Russian, as per the title. Yeah.
The premise is just like totally up your alley.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did not like the first episode, but I can see why some people would think it's cute.
I thought
like
it was
you.
Cute. Yeah. Russian, such a cute language.
I do actually like Russian words, the Russian language. I'm a fan.
Okay.
But I was not a fan of her, so.
Yeah, that's fair. Some parts of it were pretty ridiculous, like how there's not just one, but multiple girls who speak Russian for some reason.
Oh, there's more.
There's more Russians, yeah.
Like, I already thought it was ridiculous that the boy miraculously, oh, look, he knows Russian too. Great.
The most ridiculous part is how he's hiding he knows Russian.
Right? Like, why don't you just reply to her?
Yeah.
Hello?
You should just talk in Russian with each other.
Yeah.
Because, like, he likes her too. That's what's so confusing about it.
To me, that's like, what's the point? They're just dragging this on just to torture us.
Oh, well, I like that they're dragging it on because that makes it more entertaining, right? If they actually got together, it would be boring.
Then it gets boring? I see.
But when you think about it, it's kind of silly. But
you're all about the slow burn.
Exactly.
And like never finishing.
Exactly.
I see.
At least when it comes to romance. And the other part that's kind of silly is they have this student council election, and they take it so seriously, and like they hardcore betray each other, like friendship destroying betrayals, in my opinion. And then they're just like, oh, that's how a student council election goes.
No, it isn't.
I know.
What reality is the student council cutthroat?
In the world of Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian.
That's so silly. Because you said the show's supposed to be cute, and then here they have like a bloodthirsty election.
Yeah, exactly. So I could have done without the bloodthirsty election and just some cuteness. Whatever. I liked it. Okay, next one is Code Geass, Rozé of the Recapture. Did you watch this one?
No, we talked about this, Draggle. You were so shocked that I haven't watched all of Code Geass.
Oh, right. I'm so shocked. You ever watched all of Code Geass? You should go do that now. Drop everything on your to-watch list.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I should just stop all of my other pet projects.
Exactly.
And watch Code Geass.
Priorities.
Yes. So tell me, Rozé of the Recapture, why is not a must-watch? Why is it just good?
I quite liked it. It's the closest thing to Code Geass we've got since Code Geass. There was that awful European OVAs, which just were completely pointless. This one has some good points, like the mech battles are good. There's kind of some crazy plot twists and betrayals and stuff. But I think the thing is missing is Lelouch. He was just so entertaining. And Rozé is not at his level. Yeah,
it's really hard when you swap main characters, right?
Yeah, but it's mainly just like she doesn't have like his righteous anger,
charisma,
and his charisma. Yeah, or just his dorkiness. Like she doesn't have a very strong personality at all, which is really what made the original work so well.
This is going to come up later when we talk about Oshinoko, but it makes me think of the Oshinoko thing, right? How there's like certain characters who just scream for attention, which was Lelouch, right?
Exactly.
And it sounds like this Rozé does not grab the eye in the same way.
She does not grab the eye in the same way. Like the only way she grabs the eye is like I forget. I think this is in the first episode, but she's actually like a girl, and she has enormous boobs, like.
Oh no! Of course she does.
They must be like 2 feet big, and then she like, puts on a mask in her disguise.
Gross.
And she's completely like flat. And
wait, what?
Yeah, where did they go? That's the biggest mystery of this show.
Even if like she bound herself, if she's that large, even bound, you can't hide that.
Yeah, she also like becomes skinnier when she's a boy.
This is strange. There's got to be magic at play here, Draggle.
Exactly. Also, the villains just kind of sucked in this show, too.
That sucks. Like, you want a good villain, right? Exactly. You want someone who you're like, yes, you're sort of cheering for them, or, they're actually terrifying.
Yeah. And Rozé, like, she needs an evil side, like Lelouch, and an evil laugh.
She's too boring, huh?
So much missing from Code Geass. But it was still fun, so that's why I put it in good.
Okay. I think I feel somewhat similarly about the Elusive Samurai, because I did think that the idea of the show and the execution of the show was quite a lot of fun. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I think I'm just sad because it is, even though like they're done airing for now, it's not like they wrapped up the story, right? There's like still so much more that they can do because he's still a kid. They haven't like really won. They like had it felt like a win, but it was technically a loss of a battle, right? At the end?
Right.
Because they had to retreat.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know if they're going to do more of this, but what they did have here of him gaining new allies, him gaining his retainers' respect, him actually becoming somewhat skilled with his own style of fighting, I thought was really great. The comedy is really on point. There are some like dark parts, but for the most part, they really balance it well with like slapstick moments and just really compelling, I guess, like the fight scenes. I know you don't like fight scenes, but I thought they were pretty fun here.
Yeah.
What is that? Yeah.
I was just disappointed, and I was so excited for this after the first episode. Were. But then it basically became like a shonen battle thing of
but I thought they tempered it well enough. Was it still too much?
I just was not that interested in that aspect of it, so I was a bit disappointed. But it was really well done.
Yeah, I thought it looked great.
It did look great.
Like, they had occasional CG moments, right, where they're, like, riding around on their horses, and I was like, oh, that's obvious. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't egregious, right?
Yeah.
And they always, like, went back to, like, the more important parts to make sure it looked good.
Exactly.
Okay. So this next one, Love is Indivisible by Twins, is a bit of a contentious entry because I had this lower, and Drago pushed it up. So since you like this more, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that contentious. I put it up one category, but
No, it's pretty contentious, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. I love all these love triangle drama things.
I know you do.
So I was set up to enjoy this one. And it started off with the Bane, with everyone being an asshole or various stages of stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved like the witty banter. But then it got a bit too much where like everyone has the witty banter in the same way. So it became...
That was Keiru's observation. He's like,
Yeah.
why does everyone sound the same?
Exactly.
Like in that club specifically, like why
Yes.
is everyone in that club like all talk similarly?
Yeah, it's like one person like talking to themselves as 5 different people.
Yes.
Yeah. So that got tiresome.
Yeah.
The main character is just like...
Why do they like him?
Yeah.
What is it about him that they like?
I don't know. I don't get it. Yeah.
I don't get it. It's love by proximity. This is because they need to go to college and they need to get out in the world and meet other people, and then they're going to realize that they're stupid.
Exactly. So those were my main issues with it as well. But I did find it entertaining.
I found it entertainingly bad. I just was like so angry. So much for the show drag. I was like yelling at the screen. Kevin was like laughing the whole time. But I was just so angry all the time with like the decision to be indecisive.
Yeah.
Like decidedly indecisive. Like they're purposefully not making a decision. It was killing me. You know where it has like the where the sporty girl Rumi has like a chance to like date this other guy who actually likes her for her. He has no hesitation in his liking for her, right?
Yeah.
And he like speaks complete sense, calling out June and being like, "Hey, you are just leading them both on. You're being indecisive. You're being, a terrible person." And they're all okay with it for some reason. I don't get it. Like, why?
I don't get it either.
And I was also furious because, okay, I didn't like Rumi at the start. She grew on me later. That doesn't mean I approve of her anyways. But Naori, I thought I would like her, right? So like when Rumi breaks up with June, I was like, okay, go Naori. And then I was like, no, Naori's a terrible person. I actually really don't like Naori. And like the more the show aired, the more her mouth like flapped its gums, the more I hated her. And so like by the end of the series, I fucking hated everybody except for that one dude, that one runner dude. Anyway, so that's why I was so mad at the show, and I like shoved it down because yes, it entertained me. Yes, it looks good, but I just thought the writing was trash.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, and that's why I liked it. So.
That's why I was so mad, and that's why you liked it. Okay. I'm still like, I just get angry thinking about the show. And like the way it ended was stupid.
See, it's a show that compels emotions.
Yeah. Polarizing emotions here, but
well,
yes.
I think we had the same emotions. I enjoyed feeling the emotions.
All right. Well, I want to talk about MAYONAKA Punch now because I'm a little sad that I didn't watch this show because I initially quite liked it. I just never got back to it. Did you finish it?
I finished it, yeah. And I feel like my first impression pretty much held throughout the series. It was a fun show.
Do you think I should go back and watch it?
Yeah, I would watch. Especially if you like the start, I would go back and watch it. Yeah.
Okay. Does it have a satisfying finish? Like, I didn't know if they were going to, like, do a sort of cliffhanger or whatever, open ending kind of thing.
It's a bit of an open ending, but I thought it was a satisfying open ending. Like,
okay.
Everyone makes peace with themselves and accepts their friendship, that kind of stuff.
Okay, this is making it sound heartwarming when that's not what the first episode was.
Yeah, it had a heartwarming ending.
Huh, okay.
But it was a lot of drama to get there. And a lot of, like, stupid hijinks in an entertaining way.
Was there, like, more clashing with her former friends? Or her former, I don't even know what friend is the right term. But people that she used to stream with.
Her coworkers?
Yeah. Was there a satisfying confrontation?
A little bit.
Okay.
They came to peace a bit more than before, I guess, or came to accept their mistakes.
All right, well, I will keep it on there then and hopefully get around to it.
Yeah, but what I liked most about this was the main character and how she's such an asshole.
Mm-hmm. She is entertaining, I remember.
Very entertaining. Okay, so next is Pseudo Harem. This is the one where there's this girl that acts like she wants to be an actor, and she acts like 5 different people in a harem while she is this guy.
I feel like your opinion went up on this because I thought we were both meh about it at the start of the season, or was that just me?
I don't remember what I said, but I've been like between mediocre and good on this one.
Okay.
The whole time. I think actually like the first half of the show I would have put more in the good category, and the second half would go more in the mediocre category.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because that basically like the first half is them being cute together, and then the guy, he's like a year older or something. He graduates and goes to college, and then it gets a bit more serious.
Wait, they keep going the story with him already graduated.
Yeah, they do.
Huh, okay. I don't expect that.
Yeah, I found that part after the graduation was less interesting, honestly.
Okay.
It's more like a cute show, and then they tried to be a bit serious.
Get out of here with your seriousness.
Exactly.
We don't need that.
Yeah.
If you want serious, we should watch Senpai as an Otokonoko.
Oh, did you watch this one too?
I loved this show, actually.
Yeah, I liked it too.
I actually felt quite bittersweet, like sad, through good portions of this show.
Yeah. This one was one that knew how to do the serious parts.
Yeah, I feel like they handled it really well, with a lot of thought and care with the character of Makoto, right?
Yeah.
And then also like the mixed feelings of the friends around them, friends and family. Like I'm really, really glad that they addressed the mother at the ending arc because I was worried they weren't going to.
Right.
And I even thought they did a good job with that confrontation. Like, yeah, the mom wasn't like immediately on board with it. You can tell that she's like hesitant about it, but that she's like willing to open up. And like we see them actually spend time together like that. I was like, wow, that's promising.
Yeah, I felt the same way. And I did not expect it from a show with a title about Otokonoko.
I thought it was going to be like a comedy, right? Like a tasteless comedy. And it totally wasn't.
I thought. No, it was like one of the most tasteful shows about trans people we've ever had, I think.
Yes. And it wasn't like simple solutions to things, right? Like, simply he's going to like her, or simply like the two guys are going to get together. No, none of it was simple, right? All of it was kind of complicated. All of it was like, there's more thought here. There's more going on than what's on the surface.
Yeah. I think my favorite part was the guy friend. It was not simple, like you
Ruji,
said.
Right? Where they like date for a little bit. That one like broke my heart.
Exactly.
I so wanted them to be happy together, and then when that happens, I'm like, no. I understand, but no.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like, I'm still happy at the end. So.
Exactly.
This is how you can write like people breaking apart, still being friends, understanding one another. Not like that other stupid love is indivisible about twin shit.
Yeah, I don't know how they're still friends after all that shit.
Oh, like here was really well done.
Exactly. Next one is all you.
All right, so Twilight Out of Focus. If we're looking at it just like structure-wise, the story writing, it's actually quite formulaic if you are a fan of yaoi. And I don't really actually like go out of my way to read it. I know some people are like rabid yaoi readers, right? I do like the occasional anime as long as it's well handled, and this one is well handled. I like the characters. They're all in high school, but the characters are interesting. It's all centered around like this film club. And there is sort of like the main couple that are at the beginning and at the end. That's like how they circle back at the end, which I did enjoy how they did that. And then like the two middle arcs are with a couple of other couples. Because it's like I think it's an all-boys school. I believe it's an all-boys school. And so like we have like three separate couples that we eventually get to meet. And I just like their interactions with one another. I thought the relationships were somewhat like why they liked each other. The chemistry was somewhat believable. And it was just like really well handled, especially for like this genre, which I don't see very much of lately. I really can't think of other titles in recent memory that I liked as much as this one.
Nice.
Yep.
The next one I think we both watched probably. Quality Assurance in Another World.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with the show.
Yeah, me too. Felt like it was always interesting. It went places I didn't expect, especially with all the debugging stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very like non-traditional storytelling.
Very much so.
Which I think went well with like how they showed us how that guy thought as a debugger. Like some critical plot points, like at the very end, they're trapped in that casino and you think they're doomed. And then the guy just finds a bug and
it's always a solution, right? Like because he's the one who is like still working as a debugger, he actually submits reports. He knows what he needs to do, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
To exploit it. And it probably feels bad for him to exploit it, but he's like, hey, I didn't fix it yet, so I guess I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah. So this was a really interesting show.
It really is a very unique premise, and it's actually a show that I recommended more than many other shows this season.
Yeah, and I hope it gets a sequel because it feels like there's...
It's unfinished. They like opened a new arc at the end, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So yeah, please continue.
Yes, please. Okay, next is Wistoria, Wand and Sword. You know, I would think I wouldn't like this because it's kind of like a shonen battle thing as well.
It totally is.
It totally is.
Did you actually watch this?
I actually watched it and I quite liked it.
So did I.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to, Drago, and I'm kind of pissed off that I watched this instead of something else, but it's fine.
But
it's fine.
did you like it too?
It was fine. That's my problem. Like, I think I would have put this down at mediocre.
Okay.
Because it's like, to me, it's very formulaic. It's very like obvious what's happening. Who are the good guys? Who are the bad guys? Are the enemies? They're going to become friends. Of course, enemies to friends is very common in this. They're going to end up having to work together after some betrayal. And then, you know, of course, our like weak, unassuming dude actually turns out to be like really badass dude who is like, I guess, part of this super strong, I don't even know what to call them, race of tower people, sword people. That they've opened up now to where I assume they're going to maybe have a second season in the works because of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
All predictable.
It was all predictable.
Somewhat enjoyable. I don't know why, but I watched it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I thought the animation was really pretty as well.
It was.
Yeah, and I think this one's getting a sequel.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'm not either. The next show, I have a question. I think you might be implying maybe I should watch this one.
Well, okay, I'm on the fence, Drago. Before you get too far, I want to tell you I didn't finish this. I intend to, but I still have like 12 episodes to watch.
So the show is Yatagarasu, The Raven Does Not Choose Its Master.
Yes, there are 20 episodes and I'm only halfway through.
Okay.
And I do really like the premise of the show. I like the different angles that we have because at certain times we're with I don't even know what to call it. See, this is how long it's been. Like the Garden of Women, his like prospective brides. And sort of the more main character of that, even though there's no like real main character, since there's so many POVs, is Asebi. And she's like this very innocent, very sweet girl. Mm-hmm. And then we have the other side, which is the prince or whatever, the royal prince, who is the one who needs to pick a bride. But his life is constantly in danger. So he keeps away to sort of like make sure to try to protect their lives there and keep other people from meddling with that whole process. And I don't know the outcome because I haven't finished it. And I do intend to go back to this. It's kind of like it is the type of show you really do have to pay attention because there's a lot of dialogue. And with all the different faces and interweaving parts, it's easy to miss if I'm like cooking or like even if I'm folding laundry, right? Like I think I have to like sit and actually watch it.
Right. Need some thinking.
So I'm ready to move on to our must-watch section, which we only have a handful here.
Yeah, this season was a bit weak, I thought. Well, at least compared to recent, really amazing seasons.
These are still fairly strong titles, but I do believe this first one, am I the only one that's watched this? Because I think you mean to, you just haven't yet?
Yeah, I've read the manga, but I haven't got around to watching the show.
I actually am only at 16 out of 18 episodes, so I still have 2 more episodes to go, and given how like fantastic it's been so far, I'm holding back on any sort of assumptions of how this is going to end, because it's been a roller coaster, Drago. Like, I don't know if the manga's like this, but it's been a goddamn roller coaster. Dead. Demons, destruction, so many POVs, different timelines, different like interweaving stories. I feel like every episode just like throws me into a different direction.
Wait, but you got the title drawn. It's Dead
Demons.
Destruction.
Thank you.
Can't screw that part up.
Yeah, destruction is how the song goes.
Oh, is there actually a song like that?
There is actually a song, yes.
That's
and
amazing.
This is amazing. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to finish it probably like within the next day or 2.
Sweet.
And it's a must watch.
Okay. Yeah, I am going to watch this eventually.
And it's so like, I just feel like it's so pertinent to like our current times too, with like technology, with AI. Like there's like a whole thing where there's a manufacturer like an AI made video of the prime minister, you know, and they're like, well, that didn't actually happen. And so, yeah, I think it's important that people watch this show.
Sweet. I'll watch it.
And then the next one I think is all me as well, right?
Yeah, I didn't watch this one.
The Fable, which I finished up before we started recording, is amazing. I love this show so much. Like the style of comedy, which it is like sort of dark humor, dark comedy, because this guy, He's a professional assassin, a professional killer who has been told to take a break, like a year to just go live out and be a normal civilian, no killing allowed. Like that's the number one rule is do not kill anybody. You need to be as normal as possible. Get a job, fall in love, just be like everybody else and see if you can like live like that. And then with him is another girl. She's not as much of a professional killer, but she's certainly trained. She's very, very good. But she sort of does like other stuff like research and she like drives him different places. But like if push comes to shove, she can defend herself. But she's also a bit of a, man, what's the phrase for, there's like lady killer for men, right? She's like the reverse of that, where she is so good at reeling men in and getting them to pay for her drinks. But she can outdrink any of them, like all of them, she outdrinks. And she takes a twisted pleasure in watching them drink too much and go too far. And like the look of joy that she has on her face as she's watching them like stumble all over themselves to get to her and then fall down and hurt themselves and then like go to the toilet and like puke all over themselves. It's like she is twisted to tell. Drago, you would love her.
This does sound promising.
It's so good. And like the main character is like such a stoic, usually stoic, but then he has this favorite comedian that he likes to watch. He's like a total like jackass slapstick kind of comedian. And so whenever he watches that, it's hilarious watching how his normally like dead face just like bursts into stupid ass laughter. But and of course, because they're trying to take a break, they're trying to be normal, they keep getting thrown into situations that force them to not be normal. Right. Like trying to pull them back into that underworld. And it's just great. You should watch this.
Okay. Maybe I'll give it a second chance.
I can't recommend it enough. Like, I think it's probably too dark for some people because there is like there are people who die. Yes. There are references to other crimes, like, you know, like rape, murder. But you don't see the rape really on the screen. It's like you see people die. We're dealing with Yakuza here, okay?
Okay.
But it's not like gory or anything.
Cool. Glad you enjoyed it.
I loved it.
Nice.
I did watch this next one as well, though.
Makeine, Too Many Losing Heroines. Yeah, this one, I really liked it. I love how they're all just, like, so pathetic.
They are. Entertainingly so.
Yeah, and it was very entertaining seeing what lengths they would go to. And this one, I quite liked the main character as well. He also had a lot of personality. He was also very pathetic in his own way. But I think my favorite was Anna. She was just so... So
there's a reason why we start with her
and
why we finish with her. All right?
Exactly.
She is the most stupid of them all. She's also the most entertaining of them all.
Yeah.
I know. I really like Chica also. I like all the girls, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, they are all good. Do I have favorites? Yes. I like Chica and I like Lemon. Anna is ridiculous. I could not be friends with Anna. I think I would just strangle her.
But that's why she's funny in short doses.
But yeah, I love that there was never like an actual romantic relationship between him and any of the girls. Like that was just out of the question, right? Yeah. Even when he does like his quote unquote like date with all of them, like the entire time I'm just like, this is nothing. This is not going to be anything.
There was one point where like someone thought he and Anna were dating, and then they both made this like most disgusted face.
They're like, no.
Yeah, great show.
It is a great show. I also really liked how they handled the school festival thing at the end. I liked that.
Yeah. Next is Oshi no Ko season 2. What
a ride. Like I didn't love this as much as the first season, but I still loved it.
Yeah, I was gonna say same. Especially the theater arc. I thought that was one of the weaker points. But it was still amazing.
Thought it was a little dragged out.
Yeah.
Like I liked it. Like you. And I think it looked great, didn't it? Like
it did look great. The
design, the character interactions, like their focus on like the voice acting. I really liked actually the thing with the theater arc. I think I liked the most was when they like brought in the writer, right?
Yeah,
and they had to
say the same thing.
That was really interesting, wasn't it?
It was really
like the writer coming to terms with that, with the screenwriting.
But it also felt like it's only slightly contributing to the plot.
Yeah, it was sort of fascinating in a different way.
Exactly.
Kind of. But I also really liked getting to know some of the side characters more, even though that still contributed to the dragging out of this arc. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean I wasn't interested in them. Yeah. I did find them fascinating.
Yeah.
Right? Like the boy who's not a good actor, but is pretty. Mm-hmm. And then he like realizes that he does seriously like acting.
Yeah.
And then like the way that it ended with sort of like the reversal of our characters' positions, right? Where now it's Ruby who's all dark, and Aqua who is trying to be happy, trying to like find happiness, choose joy, is really interesting. That it makes me really anticipate the third season.
Yeah, I really loved the evil look on Ruby's face.
Yeah, yeah. It gave me chills, honestly. Like her whole like photography session when she just like goes totally dark, and then they like use those cuts to somehow work with the video. I don't know how, but they do.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I really
can't wait
liked
for more.
The last 2 or 3 episodes where that was some
it was a good
stuff.
lead up right into the next season.
Exactly. So looking forward to season 3. And one last show and must watch: Suicide Squad Isekai. I think we did a whole episode on this, like, after it all aired.
We did. We both love this show.
Yeah, it's just so much fun.
It's so unconventional, right, for an anime.
It has a very American sense of humor.
But with, the superior graphics of anime.
Exactly.
As I feel like we were obligated to say, but I think is actually true in this case.
Yeah. And I just love how much fun they have doing whatever they feel like.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's 2 ongoing shows. 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. I think we're both quite enjoying this one, actually, right?
I'm enjoying this a lot. I'm not quite caught up on it. Currently, there's only 16 episodes out. There will be 24 total. I'm a good deal like behind, but I have been having a lot of fun with this show, more so than I had anticipated at the start.
Yeah, I thought this would just be like a trashy show, but
right.
It actually has some stuff to offer, although it is.
I'm actually finding it even more enjoyable than like Dress Up Darling, which is kind of like the closest comparison I have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
And then like Genshiken. It gives me a little bit of Genshiken vibes when they go to like their first convention.
Yeah, a little bit. It's not as strong as Genshiken, but...
No, it's not. Like Genshiken is like, that's a masterpiece, okay?
Yeah, it's the same kind of setting though.
Yeah, similar setting, similar vibe. But I am having fun with this and I do intend to finish it.
Then last is MONOGATARI series, Off and Monster Season, which I will probably watch someday, but I haven't watched it all. I don't know about you.
I say ongoing, but it's actually about to have its last episode out in like the next few days. So this will be done. There are only 14 episodes. It's an ONA. And yeah, I intend to finish this. I'm only like a few episodes in. It's just I ran out of time. But I think it looks gorgeous. The stories are always really interesting, right? Yep. How this is one's focusing on Otokonoko.
Sweet.
Always good.
Okay, well that's it for this season. Next season.
We cut out a lot of fat, Draggle. Honestly, we cut out and we still have a lot.
Yeah. Well, there were a lot we watched. And we didn't have much overlap. So.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that next season, I'm scared. I haven't even looked because I'm terrified at how long that list is going to be.
Same. I barely started watching anything. I think I'm just going to have to watch less shows because I'm not going to watch anything this month.
Yeah, I don't have time. I just don't have time anymore. We're going to have to like bury our heads and hide from like the hype of things that truly probably will be a waste of our time. Like, exactly. Really be ruthless, Drago, okay?
Okay, I'll try. I will not watch Failure Frame or Why Does Nobody Remember Me in This World.
I think that'll be good. Tune in again to Kaiseki Anime Podcast 2 weeks from now. Please feel free to send us questions or comments on Twitter with hashtag Kaiseki Anime Podcast or on our individual accounts at Drago_Kun and at MarinaBNB.
Listen to and review us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts so we can continue to grow and improve. Thanks for listening. See you next time.